what's up, everybody? It's Geoff with the Albuquerque Journal, and I was busy still typing on my computer, not realizing we were already on. I'm in Pullman, Washington. I'm in Beasley Coliseum. I am getting ready to watch the UNM Lobos play an exhibition game against Washington State, and it will be the start, I guess. Not unofficial, it's official, but just not going to count because it's exhibition. But the start of the Eric Olin era for Lobo basketball tonight, and I am ready to overanalyze it and break down everything and tell you guys everything that's going to happen all season long based on this exhibition today that doesn't mean anything. But we are here, and for now, let's start by kind of getting to Sean back in Albuquerque and telling us what happened with this football game today. Pretty big one. Pretty big visitor decided to show up to Albuquerque. And how did things go in Albuquerque, Sean?
Yeah, big one. I mean, you're there for the, I guess, the formal start of the Eric Olin era, but kind of not there. I'm here in Albuquerque University Stadium for one of the early high points of the Jason Eck era. UNM improved to 5-3, 2-2 in conference with a 33-14 win over Utah State and former head coach Rocco Mendenhall that I don't even know if it felt as close as 19 points in certain games. Utah State did not really look as good as they had in the past, at least in the games before and all that. UNM did a great job. I mean, quarterback Bryson Barnes, I think this is the worst game I've seen him play. Certainly against a fellow Mountain West opponent, not against like A&M or Vandy or whatever. And UNM played probably the best half of football I've seen them play this year in the first half. Took a 26-7 halftime lead. And, yeah, I mean, just complete special teams was really good. I thought this was the best they had. They ran the ball effectively. They cleared first 20 yards. It's a lot of noise right now.
I don't know how loud that music is in this arena, but it sounds pretty loud on mine. So I apologize for that. I do not control the volume on the pregame arena music, guys.
We'll just yell. Yeah, and again, the defense I thought was great. CJ McBean's pick was really good. I thought Eck gave a great answer about him. After we kind of talked about that, Jackson Eck scored his first points in college with a safety on. I'm blanking on the kid's name. Regardless, a really good win for UNM, a cathartic win for fans. It sounded like a cathartic one for some of the players that played today. 34 players on this roster played for courtside. Oh my God.
There you go.
Yeah. Were you able to watch the whole game?
I watched none of the game.
Wow.
Not a single down.
Wow.
Yeah. I started to pull it up in the hotel before I left Spokane, and then I drove down to Pullman. Got here just not more than 15 minutes before we got on, and it was raining when I got here, so I got nice and soaked coming in. And I will tell you the good news is I happened to, as I pulled up to where I needed to park, there was a guy running outside to pick up, I guess, a DoorDash or something at the basketball stadium. And had he not been outside at that moment, I would have never been allowed in the arena because nobody believed me that I'm here for a basketball game. Nobody here seems to even know there's a basketball game except the people that are in the arena right now, because right across the street is where a football game just took place. So it was an interesting little I guess pregame trip to the arena today.
Good win for Wazoo over a not great Toledo team.
So the announcers on the radio were talking, and they were saying that they were surprised that Toledo was favored at some spots. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't know if they were favored for sure, but if they were favored, that's honestly pretty crazy coming all the way out to Pullman and just not being a great Toledo team this year, man. Like they have not passed my eye test a few times I've watched them. So, I guess to kind of go back to football a little bit, I would say that this is we can get to comments in a second here. I was not expecting this to happen. I think earlier in the week, the last show, I predicted a UNM win. I went back and forth on it all week. I honestly had Utah State taking this one by 3. That was a prediction I put out in the paper. And I thought UNM absolutely proved me wrong. I mean, I absolutely had to eat my words. And I think the big thing is that I thought that Bryson Barnes was going to give them a relatively clear advantage in this game, and he really didn't. I thought Jack Lane played a good game. I thought he was really effective in a lot of respects. And, UNM was able to use new playmakers. Nate Keefe, he had a career game and all that. DJ McKinney had a huge special team score. Did a lot of nice things on the ground there, too. So, I don't know. I think all the positive aspects of what this UNM team is and what it kind of can be or what we thought it could be all showed out today. And it's just a huge one, man. You're one win away from a bowl. I mean, relatively, you don't want to say almost assured, but pretty much there. That game next week against UNLV.
Wow, I can't believe you even put that in the universe.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is Lobo football we're talking, and you're talking about how almost sure they are to be in a bowl now.
I mean, yeah, like we can kind of, I think we can kind of say that at this point, frankly. What the
almost
schedule is.
I guess
Utah State, they have a remaining schedule that might hold them out of a bowl if they.
Oh, absolutely. This was a big one for Utah State because their schedule's as tough as it gets from here on out.
So Nevada is like playing its guts out. It needs to get they need to score points. So they have one Utah State plays Nevada next week. You'd like to think that's probably a win for Utah State, and then they play UNLV, Fresno State, and then Boise State to close the season. So they very much this could be in doubt.
All right. Got some people asking the attendance. What was the attendance there today, Sean?
20,000. They did not announce it on the video board. I had to go back and check at the end of the game.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. It was 20,000 and 97. So 20097.
So they had two kind of unofficial goals this week. I mean, I suppose you could say that more than that. They would have loved to have sold the place out.
I don't know if you could say unofficial goals. I mean, one of them was an official enough goal that they put it out there on social media.
They did. And, I mean, so that was 22,000. They did not get to that. They did not get their biggest October crowd since 2010, I think it was. But what they did was get their 7th or 8th. I have the list somewhere here actually on my laptop. I can pull it up. But this was the either 7th or 8th crowd of at least 20,000 in October or November since 2010. And when you're talking 15 seasons and you've only got to 20,000, 7 or 8 times, and this is one of them, they might be baby steps that some people aren't excited about, but they are at least steps in the right direction in an era in college athletics when attendance isn't going up at places. It's either maxed out at places or it's going down. And the places that are selling out, well, some of them may still be selling out, but attendance isn't actually going up pretty much anywhere in college athletics. So every little bit that football gets, it's better than it was last year or the year before. It's a little bit of a win because, I don't need to beat a drum here and beat a dead horse, but getting football right is the number one priority at UNM right now. And these are baby steps, but they're at least steps in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we kind of talked about it on the show. I think 20K plus, would feel like a win regardless.
Well, and I'll reconfigure the numbers too now that we have the averages. But am I over there?
After, but you can whenever is a good time to stop.
Okay. So I am in the wrong spot. Can you believe that?
Oh my God!
I can. That's what happens when you get here before before everyone. But yeah.
Oh
so anyway, I think the fact that they got 20,000 today, they got 18,000 last week. I think they only need to average over their final 2 home games. And remember, we're talking, as you noted, 1 game from bowl eligibility. And I think all they need to do at this point is average, I think, around 13 or 14,000 to get there. And look, they'll do that. And coming into this year, when they averaged 16,001 fans last year, you just turned over coaches 2 years in a row. Jason X coming up from an FCS program. If you told fans that you're going to average 20,000 this year, that would have been a huge win. And people need to remember that as they get disappointed seeing 20,000 show up in University Stadium. That is not a disappointment. That's a win.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're not going to see another sellout this year. I mean, I feel that feels pretty safe saying that. But you had to sell out, which is a memorable day for fans. And, hitting that average, I think is huge too. So.
All right. Let me drop some of these comments in here. All right. New dawn of Lobo football is starting to manifest itself. Yeah. I mean, look, sample size is still small. One season is a small sample size. You can have success or failure in 1 year. That doesn't paint a bigger picture. But all you have so far is this sample size. And it is the sample size right now that looks like a football program headed in the right direction. All right. Lewis Torres announced attendance. We just did that.
20097.
20097. All right. Will I be posting scores as the game progresses? Absolutely. I'll be posting scores and tweets and post-game story, post-game video interviews with players and coaches. I will be posting all kinds of crap. Good crap, though. I think the Lobos, by the way, will be warming up on this end of the court, but they're not out yet. None of the players are out. You got some coaches out. You got a lot of got to tell you, there's about 24 team managers for Washington State here. I don't know why they got so many, but they do.
Between UNM football and UNM basketball, there is a opportunity for the athletic department to go 2-0 against the future Pac-12 today. So that is also at stake.
On the other hand, I do know that whatever happens here in this arena today, the Lobos will be walking out of here without a win or a loss because it doesn't count. So they could get 2 wins, but we'll see. All right.
Stephen Harris, we popping dues tonight, fellas. Have you had a Mountain Dew today? Have you had a Mountain Dew this week?
I have not.
Wow.
So we'll see if I make it tonight, man. Like, got to drive back to Spokane after this. Got to put together some post-game coverage, all kinds of good stuff.
You might have a Dew in your future tonight, man.
Maybe I will. Not much. That's all I got. It's not much. All right, we got players starting to show up out here. It appears that the Lobos will actually have players. All right, what a day go, Lobos. Stephen Lujan. John Benavidez is in now on X. I was disappointed with the size of the crowd, but shout out to the fans that showed up. We were loud. I think we rattled the Aggies a few times on third down. What was that environment like?
This was a loud crowd, and I do think they rattled Utah State a couple times. Aki even talked about that. I mean, he did say, "Look, I'd like to see a bigger crowd numerically," but I thought the people that were there today were pretty effective.
I will say that things like a punt return for a team that's been struggling in the punt return game.
Yeah.
Things like get a review, kind of smash it down their throat, 1-yard touchdown stuff. I was able to at least follow on stat broadcast, and then a safety. Like, those are all things that get the crowd roaring anyway, right?
Yeah.
Those are all kind of crowd favorite things. And of course, winning the game is also a pretty big thing too. So, it seemed like a crowd friendly game. I don't know how much you heard that cough or not.
I didn't hear any of that.
Good. No, I will not be broadcasting the game. I do not own the broadcast rights in Washington State. I will get some video and post video when I can. The Lobos have a video guy here too. Matt is here. They're a social media guy, and he'll be getting video. So, you'll be able to see some highlights and stuff like that. But there is no video of this game. There is a radio broadcast you can get to, linked via. It is on Go Lobos, right, Steve? Hey, Steve. It is.
When the next round of media rights deals are up, are you going to put your name in the hat? Are you gonna?
Yeah, that's right. Talking Grammar broadcast rights for the next go round. I'm going to just start streaming everything. Stephen Lujan is in on X. I was telling everybody around me in the stands, for the love of God, catch the punt. Yeah. Meanwhile, not only field it, but take it to the house. That's true, because I was pretty much at the point where I was just like, yeah, just let it roll, guys, because you're only hurting yourself. You've not yet once benefited yourself on a punt return, and then they do this, and that's exactly what you should do to shut guys like me up.
Yeah, there was a little bit of tension with that ball in the air. There was some high punts today, really. And I thought we're talking about Utah State's punting and UNM's punt return game. I thought Daniel Hughes had a really nice game today punting it. He had 2 pinned within the 5. One of them was 60. I thought he had a really nice day, and just a big part of a good special teams day.
Because he was well rested. He hadn't used his leg
once last week. Made up for it.
Timothy Fuller, Sean, EL is sort of rocking. EL, what am I missing?
East Lansing.
Oh.
Yeah, the more alcohol people drink, the more optimistic they are. Timothy, I appreciate the boots on the ground.
I can't believe I just said, what's EL?
Come on.
Of course I know what EL is.
Yeah, that kicks in 2 minutes. Timothy, I appreciate the report.
All right, Owen is doing too much smiling. Geoff telling me he needs to square. All right, let me see. See if I get a hold of everybody. Let them all know. No smiling. It's game time. No more smiling. We got Jake Hall right in front of me, getting on his I don't know what do you call these? Hey Jake, putting on these little. The little devices they put on their chests to monitor.
They look like sports bras or whatever.
Yeah, they got the computer chip that you kind of snap onto that, all sitting right out in front of me right here.
Yeah.
Since I'm sitting in the wrong spot, but I set up.
Catapult, right? That's the brand.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm official. Like I said, I got in before I was official, but I am now official. Got a press pass and everything. All right, Stephen Lujan on X is saying 100% Professor Benavides. I agree the crowd should have been close to a sellout, but props to those who did show up. And I think made a difference on some of the false starts. Were there a lot of false starts?
I got to look up the numbers for Utah State. There was at least 2. I'll pull that up right now.
I do think, or he says, Lobo fans need to step up and fill that place with the same enthusiasm as we support men's basketball. Yeah, it'll take a while. That's for sure. It's going on 60 years of support for men's basketball, and it's about 8 games in on the EC era. So we'll see how long it takes. I don't think it'll take 60 years if they do get it, but it'll still take a while. I mean, it's incremental, and I'm telling you right now, getting 20,000 fans in that stadium for the first time since 2016, I believe it is, just to even get to 20 in October, like accept the wins where you get them, and that is a step in the right direction. Just gotta, I don't want to say be patient, still act impatient and push for it, but that's a win. The crowd's starting to show up a little bit. So.
Confirmed 2 false starts from Utah State today.
All right. Ned James joked on the post-game radio show that he wanted to call Bronco My Little Pony during the game, and I hadn't heard that.
Oh, Ned.
Oh, Ned.
Oh, Ned.
All right, what's our biggest November crowd? I hope we can beat that.
Do you have the numbers on that?
I do. I can look it up, but yeah, I saved all the crowd numbers. But there was at least one that hit 20 in November since 2010. I only went back to 2010 because that was the number they went back to. And I will say before 2010, you were still getting into the 20s fairly regularly with ranked BYUs and Utah's coming every now and then and stuff like that. So it was still happening. But and again, I will point out that the October crowd numbers that we do reference, those are all non-NMSU games. There have been a handful of NMSU games that were played October 1 in November way back in 2011. But I'll look up that number for you, Adam. Timothy Fuller's in. If I make a donation to the stream, does it go to y'all or the journal at large? Yeah, if you make a donation, I don't know where the hell that goes. I don't think it goes to anywhere.
I don't. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
An offshore PayPal account, something like that.
Desert Lobo 72 is saying Jason Eck for mayor.
He's probably got a pretty good case right now.
There was a mayoral.
He gave. I asked him about. I will post a clip later. I always say I'll post this clip, and I usually don't. I will post this clip for sure, though. I asked him, like,
you're a liar.
This was like a cathartic win in a lot of respects. For fans in particular, obviously, and then some of the players that played under for Bronco, all that. Like, and I asked him, like, how important was it to give fans that feeling, to give people that sense of catharsis and all that? And he kind of paused, and he's standing at the podium. He's clearly got some water dumped on him and all that. He's got sweat stains over his sweatshirt. His hair's a mess. He's looking all over, and he compared it to New Mexico got dumped. He said it was like a bad breakup. He said, you don't want to look bad in front of your old girlfriend or anything like that. And I'm not doing it justice. It was a hell of an answer. And I think it's just kind of another soundbite that, obviously fans are going to look at and say, like, yes, this is our guy. Like, we love this guy.
All right, let's see what Jeffrey Holland is in on YouTube. Eck is good for the program and community. He gets our weirdness, embraces it, and uses it to promote the program, games, etc. There's an element to that. I mean, part of just self-deprecation isn't always like just humiliation and just making fun of yourself. It's just getting yourself and getting your community, knowing your audience, knowing what people are going to enjoy and like and all that good stuff. And I do think Jason Eck has done a good job of that. So the fact that they got 20,000 today, it's a good step, man. It's a good step.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Lujan, is this the first game the Lobos have won the turnover margin?
Yes, it is. They are one of the worst turnover margin. Wait, no, it's not. I think NMSU.
So their 3 losses were all 0-3 turnover margins. On the season, I don't think they're. What are they? 10 down?
Oh, they're more than that. I'll pull it up right now. But
if only we had a football writer on the show.
If only. What the hell is it? Yeah, they're 12 down on the season.
They're 12 down on the season. Okay.
Yeah, so that's tied with Florida Atlantic.
That doesn't count today, or are you including today?
Does not include today. But
Okay.
They didn't have one today. Well, no, actually. So yeah, they would improve to 11 down.
Okay, so what was today?
What?
What was the turnover margin today?
They had the pick from They didn't turn it over once, and then they had the pick from CJ McBean. That was the only Utah State turnover.
So just 1-0? Okay.
Yes, 1-0.
Richie was watching them dominate while he worked. And it was Cherry. I see what you did there. Eck, post-game locker room. It didn't show up here. If it is a click to the link, I can see if I can pull it up in a little bit, though. What's the basketball format? It's a regular game, just not broadcast. But it is 100% regular game rules, 2 20-minute halves, all that good stuff. To my knowledge, I will ask Steve right now. Are they doing an extra period at the end? No, just a regular game, right?
It has to be a real game.
Well, then somebody messed up because there was a team that did that. I'll show you. All right, just 2 20-minute halves. There was who was it last week? Somebody because it was one of the box scores I posted on an exhibition, and they ended up playing some more, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So they played a third 12-minute half. But anyway, which isn't a half at all for those scoring at home. All right, Eck. Post-game in the locker room. Albuquerque, it's not for everyone. Love it.
He said basically the same thing in the post-game press conference, although I think it was a little more muted than the tone he had in the locker room.
I imagine some. It's good. So.
Hi, Mom.
Hey,
boys. Way to go, Lobos. Hoosiers had a day. They beat the brakes off UCLA. Headed to my guy Larry, Uncle Larry, for MSU and U of M. That's awesome. Tell Larry I said hi.
Yes. Say hi to Uncle Larry for us.
Larry.
I don't know Uncle Larry, but you can still drop a little hello from Geoff.
You and Larry would get along. Yeah, Mom, throwing a hello from Geoff to Larry.
Basketball question from Desert Lobo 72. Is Wazoo and Oregon State in the West Coast Conference this season? They are, and Wazoo was picked 6th in the preseason poll that just came out a couple days ago. So Washington State is picked 6th in the West Coast Conference. The Lobos, as most of you know, were picked 5th in the Mountain West Conference. I will tell you that while the Lobos are entirely new, all 14 players and coaching staff for that, Washington State fairly new. I think their leading returning scorer was 7th in scoring last year. They do have some players back, but this is primarily a new team. They got some guys that their key players are transfers. One of them that New Mexico looked at. I don't know that there was an offer necessarily, but I do know they looked at him. He was a backup at Texas Tech. I'm trying to pull up some notes here that I have on some basketball scouting that I can give you guys here. All right. So anyway, they got a guy in from Spain who's going to run the point for him, a 6'4" point guard that is a pass first point guard. I would imagine pass first, good size point guard in college basketball from Spain. Alvaro Cardenas is kind of what comes to mind. I will find out when you guys find. Well, I guess I'll find out sooner than you guys. But then they got a transfer from Texas Tech who they say has been really good in practice so far. They do have a Boise State transfer, a guy who started 13 games, Emmanuel Ugbo for Washington State that came from Boise State. Wasn't a big factor at Boise State. I don't know how much they're expecting of him here. They do have a returning big man. He only averaged 13 minutes a game last year, but he blocked, I think, 4th in the West Coast Conference in blocked shots. He's a 6'10" post. So anyway, two coaches who are just love the analytics game and like spreading the floor and stuff like that. So it should be interesting. 2 very new teams, and I couldn't tell you at all what to expect in terms of who I think is going to win. All right, we got the better coach out of this ordeal, so thanks, Bronco, for leaving. No hard feelings.
I'm probably going to write something a little bit about that, not today, but definitely head into tomorrow for sure. That kind of idea and how that's kind of looking right now. I do think this was kind of an uncharacteristically bad Utah State game.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised. I'm surprised how conservative they were in certain spots. They punted a couple times when kind of everybody in the press box was really expecting him to keep the offense on the field. And Eck even acknowledged that. He said he was surprised with some of the decisions they made. So I thought this was a very characteristic UNM win in a lot of respects. What they're good at and what they can do. And then not really the case for Utah State. So that play out. Lawrence today kind of embodied that general sentiment. I think there's a case to be said that. Look, I mean, Eck hasn't been a head coach for nearly as long as Bronco's been. Bronco has a much established track record, but I think there needs to be a case of they get the better coach for this era of college football and for the University of New Mexico in particular. Out of Bronco leaving all.
All right. Any Cowboy content we could offer up right now?
Nice. This guy was too busy watching UFC this afternoon. Couldn't make it out.
Yeah, what'd you think of the UFC ending, huh? A little anticlimactic. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do if a guy gets poked in the eye and gotta call it a no contest. But I would be pretty mad if that was if I was invested in watching Tom Espinal and the main event gets called for an eye poke. All right, crowd was super full of energy and loud when needed. Good. I mean, it's a good sign too. Like not just crowds, but like knowledgeable crowds, right?
Yes.
Knowing when to get loud, knowing when to shut up, that kind of stuff. If we win 7 or 8, will Eck be here after this year? Yes. I don't foresee Eck leaving unless it's for Wisconsin, and I don't see Eck leaving for Wisconsin.
You don't see Eck leaving for Wisconsin? Wait, you said you don't see
Eck leaving unless it's for Wisconsin this offseason.
You're saying you don't think Wisconsin's going to open?
No, I don't think even if it opens, even if Wisconsin opens, he still needs to be offered the job. And while that's a possibility, there's no guarantees in this whole coaching world. I mean, the guy has only coached 7 FBS games because one was against an FCS school. He isn't winning the Mountain West. Do you sell that to the Big Ten that yep, he's ready? Or let's not get too New Mexico on us here. There is something good going on, and I know the first thing a lot of us New Mexicans want to say is, oh, man, now it's going to leave, it's going to leave, it's going to go. How often does that really happen, guys? Remind me again? Because in basketball, Steve Alford left more than a decade ago, and Pitino left, and they were 15 years apart. Before that, it was Dave Bliss in 1999. In football, who left for better things? It wasn't Danny Gonzalez. I guess it was Bronco Mendenhall, who we're now saying we're happy he left. And he had a losing season. It wasn't Bob Davey who left for better things. He got fired too. Rocky Long, can't really say he left for better things. It was, I guess, at best a mutual breakup, but really he got run out of town. So, and maybe it was a mistake, but this idea that every coach that has a tiny bit of success is going to leave right away. Now, all that said, X on the national radar. That's a good thing, guys. Got to try and enjoy it.
I am not a native New Mexican. I don't have that sense of pessimism to that sort of degree. If they win 7, I think either way he's going to end up getting some looks after this season. If they win 7, I don't know. If they win 8, I think it really depends. This carousel is obviously insane.
Yeah,
that's the carousel we've had since 2022. I think there's going to be a couple more twists and turns too. There's going to be a lot of jobs open, and the thing that you're hearing from agents and pundits and all that is that are there enough qualified candidates for all these open jobs?
Yeah, and
a hard time seeing him getting totally skipped over in this kind of cycle and all that.
So I'll point this out. He does have a $4 million buyout himself, which isn't nothing. That is something. I also will point out that if the right job doesn't come along, he and his wife are not interested in doing another let's get the kids out of high school kind of thing either. This is going to have to be a really good job offer, and he may get it. But we do need to slow down a little bit. They beat a bad Nevada team by 2 points last week. They beat a Utah State team that we just said isn't going to a bowl. New Mexico State.
We didn't say that. We said the road got a lot tougher. I didn't say that.
I look at their schedule.
One thing we know about Broncos boys, man, is that they will come out, they will play.
When do they play Hawaii?
And I'm not saying that they're going to beat Boise State or they're going to beat UNLV or they're going to beat the other team on the schedule I'm forgetting, but it's not out of the realm and all that. They take care of you against Nevada. I still think it's still on the table.
Utah State's remaining schedule, though,
Nevada
at home against Nevada, that could get them to what, 5?
You're going to get to 5 wins there, so you got to win. You got to win 1 of your last 3.
And then they're at UNLV, at Fresno State, and host Boise State, and you got to win one of those. And you're telling me the Utah State team that just got beat up by New Mexico is going to win one of those 3?
Well, I'm not making guarantees, Grammer. I'm saying it's still on the table. We're not
guarantee they might not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, is Fresno that scary after getting blanked by San Diego State now?
I don't know. You think San Diego State's the second best team in the league, don't you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so it's still possible, but I don't see it happening.
I think it's possible. I could see it happening. I'm not speaking in absolutes right now. I guess just to put put a cap on the coaching thing and all that. Yeah, I mean, do I see him leaving? No. But
I see him getting a restructured contract after his first year, which
we could see that. But this is a crazy carousel, man. I don't know which direction it's going to go, but I'm doing all I can right now.
I will say another good thing is that Fernando Lobo and UNM, and frankly the fans, even if it's not as great as people want to say it is in the stands, like everybody at UNM and in Albuquerque have done what they said they were going to do for him if he did what he did. Like, both sides are holding up their end of the bargain right now. They are throwing money into football. They are trying like hell to market and get fans to the games. UNM's doing what it needs to do, and looks like they're about to get some money from the state legislature this offseason. So we'll see. Jeffrey Holland saying the fake punt was a turning point that absolutely squashed Utah State's momentum. It was great to watch.
They have been working on that fake punt since fall camp, man. I mean, literally, I have seen them run that about every other week in practice since fall camp. I asked Jackson Eck, obviously, who had the key handoff to Sean Buchanan on that. He said, that was like a day 2 of fall camp install. So I've been waiting for them. Like, what was the situation they were going to pull that out in? And, direct snap to Eck, and he hands it off there. He said he was pretty excited to get that one finally in.
My apologies on the view now, guys. I don't have exactly a whole lot more options. Unless you guys want to watch Washington State warm up. We can watch them for a while. But we are being blocked out of the UNM warm up right now. So this is Washington State. All right, Travis is in on YouTube. Hey, Sean, why didn't Eck use McKinney in the punt game earlier this season?
Yeah, my thing is, the way that I kind of look at it is that Austin Brawley was their punt returner. I mean, pretty clear in a way, he was their guy at that spot. He goes down early, and they're tasked with – it's not like they weren't repping other guys, but really Buckley was the backup punt returner, and there hadn't been any red flags there. Obviously, Buckley, he muffs that punt.
All right, we got
it. And then he suffers basically the equivalent of a season-ending injury. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's having the issues that he did either. So I think it is a little bit of a question of why they didn't get to McKinney sooner. But I don't think they thought they would be in a situation where it would really be this big of an issue heading into last week and heading into this week, really. So they figured it out. They made it happen. So that took care of it there. But, yeah, I think that's a product of injuries more than anything else.
Utah State fans at the game seem to tap out early, and that was good to see, says Jeffrey Holland.
Utah State fans do not seem happy on social media right now. Really do not seem happy.
Lewis, the red sombrero guy who has been tailgating since 5:05 this morning because he's got problems. The 20,000 that were there were locked in and making noise. What a game, what a day. Go get some sleep.
Yeah.
The whole themed tailgating that you got going on, Lewis, look, I get the area code 5:05, but showing up to tailgate at 5:05 every Saturday, it's killing me, man. You got problems. And UNM is lucky to have you. Was UNM that good today or USC that bad? That is a fair question, right? Like how much of this was an uncharacteristically bad Utah State game, as you mentioned? How much of this was UNM was ready to go and on top of their game? Obviously, it's a little bit of both, but if we're kind of putting percentages on it.
No, I wouldn't put percentages on it. I don't know, man. I think it would split between that. I thought UNM was really good in a lot of respects. I thought Jack Lane played really well. I thought they used – Utah State had no answers for Lobstein, really. I mean, he really had an effective game. I think he's and all that, and when he's going in, he's running. So a little bit questionable there. But I think I would go 50-50 on both, man. I thought State had an opportunity to really, to get on the board early and, kind of insert themselves into the game. And then TJ McBean picks up Bryson Barnes, man. It's only his third pick of the year. I think that's a mix of, Utah State not being great, but was pretty damn good today, man. I mean, they looked like in the first half, at the very least, they looked like a team that was pretty tough to beat. And then it petered off a little bit in the third quarter. And then they finished strong, man. The fake punt leading into the Damon Banks TD, which effectively iced the game, kind of put them in a bind with the clock and everything.
Eric Markham saying the fake punt was so awesome. Go Lobos.
Fake punt's sweet, man.
Help me out, man.
When they work.
I get that most everybody on this stream right now saw this game, but yours truly happens to be one of the ones that didn't. What kind of fake punt are we talking? Just a run up the middle? Was it a pass? Was it a run out the edge?
No, Jackson Eck is in the protection. He's on that back line, and it's direct snap to him. Deshaun Buchanan comes off the end of the formation. Eck hands it to Buchanan. I think it was to the field, I'm pretty sure. Might have been to the boundary. I don't remember that. And then Buchanan made a guy miss. I think it was an 8-yard gain. I want to say it was like 4th and I don't remember the exact D&D there, but I'll have to figure out and look that up. But no, it was a good fake punt, man, and it definitely caught Utah State. We caught him on his heels.
Football man vibes right there, man. We're talking about running to the boundary, running to the field, some D&D. Look at
D&D,
you.
brother.
Must be 8 games into a football season over there. Adam is in. The donation goes to Chauncey's FanDuel account. So tell me, I don't know where is it asking for a donation? Is it on YouTube?
I think there's other streams that can do it or equipped to do it. I've seen that in the past. I don't think we're equipped to do it right now.
Yeah, is there something on the stream you guys are watching of us that asks for a donation? Because I honestly don't know where.
I don't think there is. I think that's just a thing that's on other streams and all that. It's become more common.
I need to start getting a donation going for us, man.
Yeah.
Get the Schnitzel donation fund rolling. I wonder how Bronco is going to golly and gosh his way through this post-game presser. They got spanked. Some people seem to be enjoying this. Jeffrey Holland being one of them.
It's a little surprising. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to watch this post-game presser to see. I think maybe we do get a little bit more of a clear answer on the kind of percentage of how good Utah State played and how good UNM played and how bad Utah State played. I don't know, listening to Bronco here. I'm curious to see what he says about a couple things, particularly the play calling, but we'll see.
Steven's asking, do you guys have a rough idea of how much we spent on this football roster? I know our basketball is very competitive in the NIL nationally. How much does football spend? Do you have any idea what the dollar amount is?
I don't have a firm and fast dollar amount off the top of my head, and they spend it differently than they do with basketball as well. Because it's kind of built, contracts are built a little bit different, and there's moving bonuses and stuff like that. I don't have a number off the top of my head though. I can go out there comfortably and feel good about it and be like, hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I will say what I'm comfortable in saying, and I think it's significantly more than this. But last year, I believe the agreement when Bronco got here was $500,000.
Yeah,
I believe it's bigger. It's more than that this year. But I honestly can't tell you if they even got to $1 million for football this year. I don't. I'll bet you they didn't get to $1 million.
I don't think they got to $1 million either.
But I can't say that with 100% certainty. But yeah, basketball's still doing fine. I think people would be surprised with how much complaining I heard about recruiting this offseason. I think they'd be surprised that they're still spending a lot on these guys because every single player you see down there on the screen right now. I'm trying to see if there's an exception, but pretty much everyone you see down there had an offer to get money to go play somewhere else, and UNM either outbid them or just out. Here's what we're doing. You got a good spot, kind of got them. But everyone down there is making some money, and they all had offers to get money somewhere else too. Travis is in on YouTube. Geoff, do I know the starting lineup yet? No, I do not. They usually do that about a half hour before. I imagine I'm sure they know it, but no, they've not told any of the throw. Let's see, I'm looking around. I believe non-stadium or team personnel. There are now 3 of us in here. They have not told us 3 who the starting lineups are yet. But I will post it on X as soon as I find out. Where's Robert Portnoy today? He's doing the game in the football.
Albuquerque, he was on the call, man.
Yeah. There's no Albuquerque radio doing this game. There will be a radio stream. I don't know who that person is, but it is somebody based up here in Washington, is my understanding. Jeffrey Holland has asked this throughout the season, and he's going to ask again. Over under 7 wins. 7 is possible.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stick with it, just staying at 6.
Yeah.
Just, all right. So who's it going to be though? You want to go there? I mean, it's Air Force or Colorado State, right?
Colorado State, in my opinion. We'll see the border war today. I don't feel great about Colorado State the rest of the season. And I have been like Air Force's biggest defender. I'm like, I love the offense, even though the defense is still like bottom 5, bottom 3 nationally. So, and it's on the road. So I would say Colorado State would be the 6th win. And then probably Air Force is probably the 7th. We're going to get it. We'll see what happens against UNLV and San Jose State.
All right, Ricky is in on YouTube, and this is the guy that came from Texas Tech, Meli Yalahalo. I don't know, that is the phonetic way to pronounce that last name. I don't know if that's how he says it or not, but yes, some international ties. Didn't get off the bench a whole lot at Texas Tech. I know he had an injury, but it just sounds like really he was kind of a forward type guy that was playing behind both Darian Williams and JT Toppin. Didn't get off the bench a whole lot with those guys in front of him, and from what I hear, he's as good as anybody so far this preseason for Washington State, so I expect to see big things out of him. Look, they got some good pieces, just like New Mexico. It's kind of unknown and a bunch of newcomers. I don't expect a whole lot out of the returning guys other than their 6'10" post, who's going to probably, I imagine, start and block some shots, but he only played 13 minutes a game last year, so I could see if need be, if the 6'10" guy is starting to cause some problems. I can see JT Rock getting some minutes on there, but I also see, I'm looking down here. I think everybody's suited up. I don't see anybody who's not suited up. I'm expecting a big season from Tomislav Bouillon, so we will, I guess we start to find out today. As I say all this, I'm sitting next to people who know all these answers and just can't say anything just yet, but who've been at all the practices and know all this stuff, but this legit felt like a dominant performance the entire game. I assume winning the turnover margin contributed. Sean, do you think today's performance was peak Lobo football for this team? Could they have done anything better today?
2 things. Winning the turnover margin absolutely helped. That was one of my I'll kind of run through the takeaways in a little bit as well, but that was one of my 3 kind of main takes from the game. Like the wonders, winning the turnover margin, not turning it over, not having a muff punt, not having an interception. That does phenomenal things for this team, and they showed that today. Do I think it's peak Lobo football for this team? I think it's pretty damn close. All 3 phases kind of clicked today, at least in the first half. We saw how good that looked. We saw how tough to beat UNM looked when they're doing that. Could they have done anything better? They probably could have limited one explosive play, 64-yard Miles Davis TD run. Other than that, they only had, I think it was 2 explosives on the day, that 1 64-yarder, and then 1 other pass. I think went for a TD as well. So they probably could have done that a little bit better. But I don't know. And some people kind of said right before that Davis TD, I kind of questioned the decision to not go for it on 4th and 1 in plus. In plus territory. Settle for the Drizwicky field goal, a 34-yarder, because it was 4th and 5, 4th and 6. Excuse me. Utah State got called for the offsides. It was 4th and 1. They had the opportunity to go for it again. I think you could have been a little aggressive there, but I don't hate taking the points at that spot, given that they were pitching a shutout. The defense was playing well. So I think they could have gotten a little more breathing room there, but I'm fine with taking the field goal there. And that wasn't 34 yards. That was a 41-yard field goal. My bad. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was a pretty damn good effort all around, and not a whole lot of things to kind of poke holes in.
Yalaho. Apparently, like I said, he's the guy that's been best for them in the preseason. They got a transfer 6'4" guard from Morehead State, who's pretty good too, by the way. All right, Rye Darn is in, and he is saying, what kind of performance was young Reider putting up in Michigan Daily versus the state news games if the Daily had a 21-year win streak?
So I want to make one thing clear. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but the Michigan Daily doesn't pay its staffers. Well, it pays some of its staffers, but doesn't pay its entire staff. The state news pays its entire staff. It pays pretty good money for a student newspaper.
So far, it's nothing to do with the games, man.
It's smaller staffs. The Michigan Daily can basically recruit kids to play in that game. I will say, though, I'll own this completely. I was coaching that first the one appearance I made in this long and storied student newspaper flag football series. I screwed up the game plan. I had a bad game plan going in. I thought we were going to be able to do more things in the run game, and we were playing a freaking monsoon, man. We couldn't hold our feet, so I did not have the best performance. I did D up this one like 6'8" kid in man coverage, and I felt pretty good about that. But yeah, not my finest effort, not my finest coaching either.
Drink anyway. Royce Lackey the third. What's the starting lineup for tonight? No idea. I don't know yet, Royce. I'll let you know if I find out while I'm here, though. Still got more an hour away. So, Eck is an SEC coach in training. Could be.
Do you think Eck is an SEC coach in training?
He's more of a Big Ten guy to me. He's a big old line coach
in Gainesville or Fayetteville or Austin, Texas.
Big old line coach. Big old line coach. Come on.
Big old line coach plays in any conference, honestly. Transcends it, but
stage UFC ending. Okay.
Royce, I love this three comment sequence.
I know, right?
I love this.
And they're all time stamped at 4:40. We go from what's the starting lineup for basketball tonight? Eck is an SEC coach in training. Stage UFC ending. All posted within 1 minute of each other. Royce, you were bringing it.
Royce, that's awesome. I love that.
The usual.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, most complete game UNM has played to date. All three phases had huge plays today.
Absolutely, and I noted in the takeaways, this was not like the Boise State game where it's like, man, if the offense could give the defense a little bit more of a chance, or the San Jose State game where if the defense could give the offense a little more of a chance. This was this was a complete effort, and no turnovers, making plays on special teams, making plays on defense, making plays on offense, man, being effective in all three phases. Yeah, complimentary football looks really good on this team.
Oops. I agree with this one, Geoff. Jeffrey Holland is in on the UFC. Excuse me. Aspinall was getting dominated by a guy, if only for one round, that John Jones destroyed. Aspinall is not the next coming. Don't disagree there, man. I was never all that high on the talk of Aspinall being the reason that John Jones got run off.
I didn't really think of it, but neither was I. So,
Desert Lobo 72. How is the kid running onto the field before Lobo football home games going?
Yeah.
Are they still doing it?
They're still doing it. It's not like huge groups of kids by any stretch, but they are still doing it. So, yeah.
All right. Stephen Lujan, I agree with Jeff's thoughts on X resume. However, this year's carousel, this is right, man. The carousel's right. So good context that Sean brought up. This carousel is going to provide so many more openings than usual. Twitter trolls are teasing that Eck will leave for CSU, Oregon State, etc.
I make a point, and you're like, I don't think you're right. And then
no,
Steven's
but what's
like, the carousel. And you're like, man, Steven's got a great point.
Nailed it, Steven. Nailed it.
I have a hard time seeing him leave for either of those jobs. I know CSU has the context of Nevada. They took Jay Norvell from Nevada and all that.
I will tell you that there's not as many people in the UNM world or in the college football world that see CSU and Oregon State as a power conference job that the CSU and the Oregon States of the world see it as. So if Jason Eck leaves UNM, I don't know that it'll be for another Power 4 job. I mean, another group of 5 job.
No, I have a hard time. Look, I think if he is going to make a move, I think it will be for a P4 job that will pay him a crap load of money and will give him an opportunity to kind of win pretty quickly and keep going, keep the coach, keep climbing up the coaching ranks and all that. Or it is kind of a dream job like Wisconsin. But Steven, I'm sure Lobo's already working on a restructured deal. Does he have to wait until 6 wins? Can he offer it sooner? Put all this to bed. Geoff, what do you think about this?
I've asked Lobo. He is in constant communication with his coaches. They do the evaluation at the end of the season, is what an AD will always tell you. And on the record, I'm sure Lobo would say that too. That's all crap. The agents are calling Lobo right now, like, hey, see all this buzz about Eck taking the UCLA job, and after they beat UCLA, and you see all this, the phone probably wasn't ringing as much after a 2-game losing streak, and now it's ringing again. But in the college football world, let's remind who they just beat: Nevada and Utah State. It is progress for New Mexico, and people are impressed with Jason Eck. He's still 8 games into his FBS career and only 7 against FBS teams. So it's, yeah, they're going to restructure it. They're going to come up with something.
I thought it was really smart for Indiana AD Scott Dolson to wait until the end of the season before evaluating Kurt Signetti's tenure and his season he's been having. I thought that was really smart for Scott Dolson. Really intelligent.
Basketball question from Desert Lobo 72. What Mountain West team has the most high-profile non-conference game this season? I mean, San Diego State, they're able to schedule people. So does UNLV. I don't know offhand who the highest-profile opponent will be. I know Colorado State's playing Creighton today. Creighton's ranked. So I don't know the answer to that, but UNLV and San Diego State are the 2 programs who are able to schedule big opponents like that.
San Diego State's playing number 7 Michigan. That's there.
And already lost to a top 10. Oh no, I guess UCLA's outside the top 10, right?
UCLA team we think is probably top 10 caliber.
Lobstein, reminding me of Tebow.
Yeah, no, I mean he was running hard today, man. I mean he was really getting after it.
Lobstein looks like a good tight end or a fullback.
Lobstein was moving the ball, man. I also thought
if he's reminding you of Tebow, he's not reminding you of a good quarterback.
All right. He reminded me more of what I had seen from Bryson Barnes on the run and didn't see today, right? In terms of him being a guy that can get take a hit and keep going and all that, keep the legs moving. Lane had a couple nice ones as well, so good to see that continued and kept going.
Tiki Taki Tacos in. Sounds like we're saying it's earned, not given. Are we saying that?
I don't know.
Do you like, by the way, how you said something earlier, as you noted, and I kind of and then sure enough, Reader says it, and I think it's great. Earlier in a text exchange, our sports editor, Lucas Pearman, said something that I said, don't do that. That's not funny at all. And then I tweeted it and took all the credit for
So I like it when you guys are like against each other, like pitted against each other.
Yeah.
I like that, right?
Yeah.
Usually I'm just in the crossfire. I like that.
All right, Steven's in. Love the usage of Lobstein. However, we all know when he's in, it's guaranteed run, rerun. Yeah, I mean, okay. Got to think Eck and the offensive coordinator Slice are setting up Lobstein for a big pass later in the season, final game or bowl game.
One, they might not even wait for the final game or the bowl game and all that. I do think you're right there because
it's pretty predictable.
Well, because Eck even said today, he's like, well, the book is out on James. The book is out on him. He's going to run. And that made it a little more baffling how Utah State kind of defended him. Now, I thought New Mexico executed a lot of those plays pretty well. But, yeah, you do think there is going to be a point where maybe it's not a deep pass, but it's something that the other team isn't quite expecting at that point. But I think it's maybe not overdue, but it's coming.
Yeah, I don't think football's getting 1 million. They might be at 1 million, but if it's 1 million, it's not over 1 million. I don't think. That's difficult. Our running back room alone, making less than 100,000 combined, is hard to wrap my head around, considering how good they are. I don't know that that's true though. I just don't think there's a whole lot of football players that got a lot of NIL money. They might have got moving expenses and stuff like that. 5,000 here, a couple thousand there, something like that for that kind of stuff. But they still paid pretty good for a few of these players. Look, Scott Trey Humphrey didn't come here without P4 offers. I imagine that running back room is over 100,000. But I think you just have to understand that not everyone on the football team, not even most of the people on the football team, are getting a ton of money from NIL.
This football team is just happy to play football and get education, man. Happy to be part of it.
Love of the game, man.
Love of the game. Nothing more.
Play for their O-line coach.
D3 style.
He's an old ball coach. I think the interception in the end zone at the end of the first quarter was pivotal. Utah State could have tied it up at 7 with the touchdown there.
100%, man. And even if they get a field goal, man, you probably feel a little bit different. That was absolutely huge. Eck gave a really good answer about McKean and kind of how they recruited him and how he's developed to this point. I think that was absolutely huge. It was a bit of a tone setter, and it's not a play that UNM had kind of made this season where they kind of, cut the initial bleeding and have a big share of the momentum. And I think that set up the rest of a really good first.
Bradbury's women Lobos or Lady Lobos, where were they picked in the preseason Mountain West tournament or preseason Mountain West poll?
10 Sickinger, our beat writer, had them 6. I think.
Yeah,
10.
and I think they were 6 in the poll though.
Yeah.
So it was a unique one though. There's a lot of transfers, and on the women's side, I don't think many people know much about those transfers. And I know I talked to Bradbury at Media Day, and he's really high on Grand Canyon. He was picked 7th, I believe. So he thinks they're going to be pretty good. Lobo Leroy's in on X. If the State News has a 21-year losing streak against Michigan Daily, what kind of performance was young Reider putting up?
So I like the usage of young Reider here. Like I'm some grizzled old O-line coach, man. Like I really
that was back when you were 12. You're 14 now.
Yeah. Again, I had a bad game plan for my one appearance in the series. We actually practiced. We had pretty good practice, man. I had a bad game plan. I screwed it up.
Don't know yet on the starting 5. Are we teasing Eck about being too conservative and not going for it on 4th down as much today after last week's questions about 4th and 6, analytics, etc.?
I'll probably get it. I kind of decided it was more of like a Tuesday question to kind of circle back on the 4th and 1. I thought there was other stuff that kind of needed the 4th and 1, the Drizwicki field goal stuff. I actually thought I didn't feel like that was a question that needed to be asked, at least today. I'll probably circle back on Tuesday on that, just to kind of close the book a little bit. I did think the 4th and 6 last week was an interesting decision, and I do always kind of want to know, like, how much. He hasn't given like a great sense of it because some of the, all the decisions have analytics and all the decisions have gut feeling built in. I do need to ask a more carefully worded question to get a sense of okay, how much is one call, this call in particular, built off the analytics or built off. I could stand to write a more in-depth story, kind of detailing this decision.
I will point out, according to StreamYard, here are 2 streams, which is one on X and one on YouTube, is now over 1,041 people.
Whoa, folks!
Travis wants to know if UNLV is beatable, Sean.
Yeah, I think they're beatable. I don't think UNM wins, but I think they're beatable. I don't think UNLV is infallible by any stretch. I don't think it's quite like going up to the Blue and playing Boise State there, where it's really, really hard to win. I don't know. I don't think it's. I think they are beatable. I don't think they win right now, but we'll see.
All right, Steve Bible's in on YouTube. What's your take on who the biggest sleeper is for Lobo men's basketball? Really liked what I see in Uriah. So I guess I don't want to go overboard with calling out a sleeper right now since they're so unknown and none of them have played a game for the Lobos yet. So in some respect, they're all a sleeper. But it's fair to ask because obviously some players have gotten more buzz than others, right? I will tell you who Dayton Albury keeps telling me. He told me at Media Day again. He told me on his podcast. Like, he won't shut up about how Jake Hall is going to have a great year. So I guess I'll take Dayton Albury's advice and tell you that Jake Hall, the freshman, is going to have a great year, doing a lot more than just shoot. And we'll find out soon. And if he doesn't, I blame everything on Dayton Albury. Nebraska. He would be good at Nebraska. All right.
In case Matt Rule leaves for another job, Penn State perhaps.
Matt Rule looks funny to me.
He looks funny to you?
Yeah.
Oh, I get. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
Geoff, great job on the interview with Commissioner Navarez. Thank you both.
Good job, Grammar, for real. That's good stuff.
Yeah, she scolded me at one point.
Shut the front door.
She didn't pull a shut the front door, but I made a comment. She said something about their financial literacy class that they had for some of the players at Media Day. And she's like, we're here to teach them and help them get educated. I was like, really? Since when is college athletics about teaching them anything? And she said, that's what we're about, Mr. Grammar. So thank you both for your coverage. Can't recall a time in my lifetime where coverage for both these sports has been as good as you all are doing now. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate those kind words.
I appreciate it. You got to be wrong. I'm sure there's better. This can't be the bar, man.
This can't be it, man. This can't be it.
All right, Fly 2 Sky 505. Great game by I looked at his numbers. So did Bankson have a good game? I looked at the numbers.
So Fly 2 Sky 505. Great game by Bankson, especially the 41-yard TD run in the fourth quarter. It looked like he was down until he emerged from the mob of Aggies. That was crazy, man. I mean, he literally just popped right out of the scrum and ripped that one off. And UNM really needed points there because, you had that fake punt and all that, but if they didn't get that, they didn't get points out of that drive, man. UNM is going to be in a really interesting position given the way the Utah State was playing. They kind of woke up a little bit on offense and given what the clock was looking like at that point. There was enough time for Utah State to make a real run and towards, take the lead on all that. So, I got to go back and look at it. I mean, seriously, it was crazy how he popped out of that. So I think that was I think Bankson had a good game, but that was definitely the big play. I think I don't want to de-emphasize, McKinney had a really nice game. Scott Trey Humphrey, not as much of a factor in this game, but I think we can chalk that up to McKinney and Bankson were the hot hands in this game, and UNM was determined to ride them. Also, I think when you bring in Lobo as much as they did, one running back's going to get the kind of the short end of the stick, and that appeared to be Scott Trey.
Great game today in New Mexico. Is there any way to watch the Lobo basketball stream online tonight? No. There's no broadcast of the game tonight, unfortunately. There's a radio broadcast, and there is Geoff Grammer's wonderful tweeting. Oops, I messed up. Skipped one there. I'll go back to it. Taysom Hill. That's who Lobo reminds me of.
Both our former Bronco Mental Health quarterbacks. So there's something to that.
So that comparison was earned, not given? No.
Wow.
Lobstein's a former Bronco quarterback?
Indeed.
UNLV will beat New Mexico next Saturday.
Tommy Gunn, I don't disagree. I don't.
UNLV will be in for a trick-or-treat, baby.
Ooh.
All right, Stanley.
Ooh, I like that.
Does that mean – is that a prediction that they'll win a game? Or does that just have to do with –
I don't know what that means.
There will be some trick plays just because Eck does those every game. So New Mexico is 1-3 on the road.
Yes.
Correct. UNLV is 3-0 at home. Yeah.
Correct.
They should not have beat Air Force, man. That defense was as bad a defense. Luckily, Air Force's defense couldn't stop them either. So there you go. That's how it plays out. If UNM gets bowl eligible, I imagine Symbieta will put them in the New Mexico Bowl. I would imagine 25,000 in attendance for that, hopefully.
So let's not get ahead of ourselves. What does good attendance look like for New Mexico in the New Mexico Bowl right after Christmas?
So 30,000 is a number that they've had, because I actually looked at this recently. I think 30 would be a good target for them. I
agree. I think they should shoot a bit higher than 25K, and I think it should be. I think 25K would be a bit disappointing.
Start your over/under questions now. New Mexico Bowl, if the Lobos are in it, over/under 28.5. 6-7. Bankston kept churning them legs and found the creases. Effort is at 100%, and he gives us one of these, which I'm going to just turn into one of these.
Yeah, no, dude, that 41-yard TD was crazy. I mean, also we haven't talked nearly enough about him. Cade Keith, nice stuff in the pass game today, given the way that Utah State was playing Dorian Thomas and all that. We've given a lot of love to Thomas. Cade Keith is a guy that has been kind of grinding in the background, and they ran a lot of 12 personnel today. We'll break it down. I'll break it down in a separate story at some point, a little bit more, kind of the follow-up notebook, but why they played more 12 personnel than normal, and see if I can get a real snap breakdown.
Sean, can we expect any punts about Bronco allegedly never buying a home here last year, and X off-the-record comment about that while he moved his family.
I don't know if that was off the record, X saying, like, well, I bought a house.
Yeah.
I think that was off the record. I don't have any good puns for that. Do you have any good puns? You're the more of a pun guy than I am.
I don't do puns.
No, not at all.
Anti-pun. Good attendance is open-ended. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Good attendance is, for the New Mexico Bowl, is 30,000 minimum. We did it with Davey and need more than that with the current climate.
I agree. I think 30K minimum should be the expectation, just given the amount of time you can kind of promote things and make it happen and all that. And look, this is something that fans should be excited about. If they do get back to the New Mexico Bowl, first time in a bowl since 2016, man. Yeah, you would like to expect fans to show up pretty well.
Rich is going over. Jeffrey Holland's going over. If I put it at 28.5. Which freshman will have the most impact this season? Pons, Bullion, Tannett, or Hall? Bullion will. I think he's going to be the starting 5. Hall after that, Tannett after that. Pons, I don't see getting a ton of playing time, which is surprising. And read into it whatever you want, and maybe I'm wrong, frankly. But I don't see him getting the playing time that you would have expected after he performed so well at the World University or the FIBA Under-19. He played so well. But I just don't see him getting much playing time with this roster. So we'll see. He is having a hell of a time in college, though. Over 28.5, but less than 37.440.
I think that's also fair.
I think the under 37.440 is fair. The New Mexico State game was a good look into how easy the whole state can fill up the stadium. There's a chance, and Symbietta's been dying for this for years.
It's been a long time coming, man. Long time coming.
But Symbietta would be drooling at the mouth if he could get a New Mexico State, New Mexico rematch in the New Mexico Bowl. Bronco got housed in Albuquerque today.
Ah, dang, that's pretty good, Jeffrey. That is good stuff right there.
Jeffrey can appreciate a good comedian. He's into comedians. Which freshman will have the most impact this season?
Did you already do this question?
Yes. Came in twice. You tricked me there. All right, guys. So anyway, Sean, why don't we sign off? I'm going to start. Got about 34 minutes till game time here, but I got to relocate. I am taking somebody's spot on press row. The guys are still warming up, and we'll have plenty of updates and that kind of stuff for you. So for now, I will sign off, put a bow a little bit on basketball. Then I'll let you sign off on football real quick. I want to commend Coach Eck for and the offense coordinator for adding the Lobo steam package into the offense. It's made considerable difference. They've had that for a while.
And I did ask about it today, and I asked a question I didn't love. Just real quickly, Eck did say it's like, look, like we're putting it in the game plan. We're not able to get to it. We need to find ways to get to it when we can. And they've made a conscious effort to get Lobstein in those packages out on the field the last couple weeks, and it's definitely made a difference in my opinion. So, yeah, I think you can commend them for, hey, no, let's not try and get all the way down the call sheet. Let's bump these up a little bit.
We got a Go Lobos in here. We got Roy saying, is X starting to retain players for next year? I don't know. I think he would love to.
I think winning 5 games at this point definitely helps, but yeah.
Olin more guarded than most. I don't even know if that's entirely true. I think there's been, I don't know, man. We'll see once the season starts how the media stuff goes and all that. I don't know that he's going to be guarded. As far as his opinion on players going back to college, he has one. So I know his opinion is take advantage of it if you can. Don't forget Tomislav Buljan, who's going to be the starting 5 this year, played 3 years in the Croatian Pro League and led the league in rebounding last year. So he's already tapped into this and would do so again in the future, I know. But that said, to answer your question, I will ask him because a lot of coaches got asked that at Media Day, and I will be writing about that in the next week probably. But I technically did not ask Olin about it at Media Day. I know some others did.
The 2 Judd Heathcote disciples, Kelvin Sampson and Tom Izzo, not a fan of this.
Not a fan. I call it the Tebow package.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good name.
Okay, basketball. No idea what to expect tonight. Entirely new roster for the Lobos. Entirely new, not entirely, but mostly new.
Thank God we have a basketball beat writer.
If only we had a basketball writer. I would expect a whole lot of playing the depth, I know that Olin likes his depth, and I know that in an exhibition like this, he's going to use it. So I would expect a whole lot of minutes going up and down the roster that you can't read into, oh, that's what he thinks this guy's going to play or that guy's going to play. So there you go. Basketball-wise, I'll have more for you. So I'm going to let Sean kind of land the plane here and put a bow on it and land the plane. And what else can I?
I'm putting a bow on the plane while trying to land it, and also close the book.
Yeah.
No, look,
on the bow.
The big takeaways from today, like this was, I think, the first time we really saw legitimate complementary football in all three phases. Again, this team looks really good with that. I mean, they look really tough to beat. I think they would give a lot of teams in the Mountain West a really hard time if they played the way they did today against maybe UNLV, against maybe a San Diego State and all that. So I think that's a really encouraging development that it finally happened. Because I made a note of it in a story last week. I didn't know. Really more of a column. I didn't know if it was going to happen. It usually doesn't happen for year one programs like UNM. So the fact that they were able to do that, I think, is really encouraging. The fact that they were able to play a turnover-free game, really encouraging, made a big difference today in terms of how the result played out and how UNM, even when they didn't have a great third quarter, they were able to breathe and all that because they built a nice lead in the first half and all that. And then, of course, UNM's playmakers, I thought, kind of showed out today. Damon Banks had a huge run that we just talked about. Cade Keith emerged as a guy that I think opposing defenses are going to have to think about a little bit more as opposed to just Dorian Thomas. Good coaching today. And, again, I'll reiterate, man, I think this is a cathartic win for a lot of fans, a lot of players in the roster. I will post a clip that that ex-answer regards to that exact question later. But no, and look, UNM, in my opinion, will be making a bowl this season. I don't know if I'll sit here and say I'll guarantee it, but I feel very, very, very good about that happening. I heard shake it out, and what happens. So if they don't, I guess I'll jinx it right here. But I think most fans and most people are thinking that way right now. So yeah, really good win. Definitely one of the best of the ACK era so far, and there's already been, one really big one anyways, so good stuff.
All right, moving forward, Tuesday, we'll have another show for you. Live show Tuesday afternoon after the press conference. Later tonight, I will have some live interviews, a player and a coach, some video posted at some point. I do need to drive back to Spokane after the game at some point, so I don't know how much after game time, or I'll have a game story obviously posted. I will post some videos. I don't know if I'll do that before I have to drive back or not. Kind of depends on them closing down the arena and all that good stuff. But look for tomorrow's Albuquerque Journal, print edition and online now and later. Football coverage, high school sports coverage, basketball coverage, a lot of video. United played yesterday, so I don't know what we have tomorrow for that, but I'm all over the place.
Big 2-1 win over Rhode Island. Big time stuff.
Big time.
Big time.
Guys, I appreciate it. Sean, good job, good work. Get back to work and go finish up your takes.
Grammer, good job. Thank you again for always doing this. I don't know if people at home realize how demanding of a week this has been for Grammer. Media days and heading straight out to Washington and doing all this. So I hate to give him credit, but we need to give Geoff Grammer some much deserved credit for what he's been doing.
I'm gonna take the bait here, and I'm gonna add something. My 16-year-old daughter got a little envelope this week from the tax and rev department with a driver's, not license, but permit. You know how stupidly insane? Like, that's stupid. No.
Aww.
Gotta go. I gotta go cry before game time. Oh, baby's growing up. My 6-year-old, by the way, I would trust driving before my 16-year-old, I think. Nah, too much road rage with the 6-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. Okay.
Right, appreciate it. Thanks, Sean. Get to work. Appreciate
you, Grammer, and thank you, everybody, who tuned in today. Go Green.
Got to throw this one out there.
Yeah. Fire Rider. Fire us.
I swear I'm hitting the end stream button.